Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 15, day 1. It is Monday, April 10th, 2017. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only, to support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, Jedi traders, starting out the week 15, day 1, seems to be a similar picture as last week, both Thursday and Friday. And here we are back into a flat market as we roll out the week. So let's jump right into the charts, take a look at where we were pre-market and see if there were any opportunities, and then go ahead and give an insight into the charts for the Globex and tomorrow. Pre-market trend as we do each day, but before I wanted to jump in here, just give you the bigger picture of the week, as the bottom line has really been about closely watching price action around that daily 10 and 50 period moving average. So keep that in mind as we roll through the week. Price action really having a challenging time getting away from these two levels, as well as the weekly VWAP. The NQ faring better than the best. We'll have to see if the NQ leads out next week on economic numbers coming out, as well as the financials starting this week. All right, so let's jump into the pre-market trend as we saw here this morning. Screen share pre-market. Again, a little bit choppy across the tops. Gold, yen, euro not going much here. Crude already lifting up. Not really a mover today, but it was after a Globex move up, London session open downside, we were pretty much balanced across the board. NQ, we use the MML levels in combination with the HA bars. And again, the MML levels to just give you a sense of viable targets or levels that you can trade off of or look towards. But it's the HA bars, the Heikin Ashi bars, that indicate the trend. When I mentioned Heikin Ashi bar, I mentioned not the candles on the left, which to me can be very challenging to identify which way I'm headed. Where the HA bars, very clear, simple. Solid Heikin Ashi bar tail up, solid Heikin Ashi bar tail down, or an indecision bar. When I got all green, I'm perhaps above a moving average. Keeps me in the setup, or could keep you in a setup, a lot longer than usual. Let your runners win for you. Let them go, and stop cutting yourself short. All right, so NQ numbers today. High, we were looking at the upside 54.29. Some of the numbers to the upside on the NQ, we were looking at 54.29 up to 54.68. Up here on the 60-minute chart, you can see here we've been holding to that weekly VWAP. There's our 54.68. And downside, we were looking at 54.10 down to 53.72. The high today being 54.43. So getting up to these highs up here, closer to the 60-minute levels. And 4-hour charts, and a low here of 54.05 coming down almost to the support, a little bit below, in between on the 15-minute level. So nice move to the downside. NQ, Globex, TPO, we had average daily range highs is 44.23 from the Globex low upside. Globex high downside right here around 53.89, not getting anywhere near those ADRs today. So balanced profile pre-market, though slightly net long. ES pre-market, we were looking at levels both to the upside and the downside, 23.59 up to 23.90 on the bigger time frames. We hit a high today of 23.63, so not shying too far away from up here on the reversal, which put us in the range up to the resistance almost. And downside, we were looking at levels 51 all the way down, actually 47 all the way down. We didn't get to 23.12. We only got down to 23.47. Well, we hit our first level, and that was pretty much the low of the day. Let's take a closer shot at the ES. Again, Globex TPO. Price action here with a high 23.66, just about reaching up there, and 23.47 just about down to the average daily range low. So keeping us net balance. Again, check out Shadow Trader in the morning, giving a great pre-market analysis for understanding of the TPO overall big picture market profile. Again, I like taking his information, putting it back on my chart and moving it around so it makes a little bit more sense. But again, the big picture is we were in balance. We had levels that we will talk about downside 23.44 again, which put us into the area of that. We didn't get down there. 23.47 was the MML level, and then movement to the upside as the most recent highs 23.61, and that's exactly where we came, but really unable to hold and break out above. All right, so what moved this market today? Let's take a look at the trading session recap. There's by the indices. AM session rallying up, sinking back upside. PM session rallied right back upside with Yellen speaking at the end, pulling back and pretty much giving us a flat session overall, as we'll see here on the charts. There's our VIX closing up from this morning's open in the 13s, now up into the 14s, with the majority, of course, sectors still in the green. There's Yellen's comments, labor market conditions. Really, the key here today was the MML levels, looking for that good time frame. Again, the preference to me, if you're going to use those MMLs as an adjunct to your trading strategy, is the Heikin Ashi bars, which we know is the solid bodies. Heikin Ashi with the 51.44. When you start to throw in the MML levels, then you know you got a combination, especially when you're in trend. So keeping it on a 5 or 15-minute chart can be a good supplemental to your trend. And having that, I'll go ahead and show that in the charts here in a little bit, but giving that time frame where you cover at least 24 hours of trading for the intraday. You don't want to really go back further. The bigger picture is always good to go back further, but for intraday, I want to keep it within a session and a half to 24 hours, and I won't see a reset of the 15-minute or the 5-minute charts too often. Keep in mind that the range charts that we look at, also those reset, and those can be, those can confuse one as far as where would their exit strategy be. And so I will go ahead and clarify that in the charts. I just wanted to point that out. That was one of the things identified in the charts today. All right, let's take a look at some of those charts here. NQ from the open move here, the MML high. Appreciate the Murray math levels up here. 53.47. You got your first trend. A lot of indecision bars, but again, if you have yourself an entry here, you weren't tailed out here on the stop, you would have held up here 51.44. But appreciate what? Yeah, appreciate that NQ AD line approaching the 70.75, and that's right, that NQ was not able. Let me go back. Here we go. Post 1 hour. We got the move back upside. So here's the MML. I want to go back a chart here and go back 2 charts actually. You can see the MML here at 54.29. Well, as time progressed forward, 54.29 then became the major support, and upside became 54.49. So it's important that your settings are proper, and that's why I use the bigger time frames. Again, I'm no expert when it comes to it. It's an adjunct to my trading style as far as a market internal. So the basics is always the strategy off the HA bars. You got an all green on the move upside, a little bit of a stall here. That's right. If you go back the chart, right, where did we stall? We stalled right up here at the upper levels of the MML. But once price action was to lift here, all right, now we have a reset upside, 54.49. AD line pulls back, makes another move, and were we able to hold? That was it pretty much. Never revisiting the 70.75, coming all the way back down and giving yourself an opportunity to do one of 2 things. Either you use that new MML reset here as the turnaround, took the entry up here, take one off here, major support resistance all the way down to support, or price action comes, you ride them all the way down, or in combination, the higher probability is once price action broke underneath the cloud with the candles in trend, with the breakdown below the major support, at least getting half the move. That would give me more the confidence that I had the higher probability that this was going to move down, and that was a really great move. Now, was this the end of the move with the AD line stuck here? Well, we'll yet to see what happened. All right, so overall, AM session, AM session, all 3 indices popping up and then bang, right back downside. So giving us a nice ride in a session that turned flat. Crazy, crazy. So that by mid-session, the way I like to see the charts, upstairs moving up, downstairs moving down, and that's the way the charts should be. So index drops mid-session. That's right. Did we hold to that earlier level on the AM? Let's show that AM low. That's right. Where was it? Around 54.14, and NQ actually pulled it down even more down here to 54.06. We already gave you that low today, 54.05, which happened to be the new MML reset on the charts. Nice move. And there it was, the indices popping back upside. So remember what I said before on the MMLs. Here's a 5-minute chart. If you notice, the MMLs covering about now this is a minute chart. This is different. When you have a range chart, you want it to be a session and a half to 2 sessions to 24 hours. When it comes to the 5-minute chart, this is a 64 setting on the Sierra charts here. So I'm covering most of the Globex here, or at least the London Open. This never changed this morning until price action actually ended up coming back downside. So where we saw the move to the upside on the 15-minute chart, let me go ahead and pull that open up once again. Remember the MML up here was 54.29. On the 5-minute chart, it was 54.39, and that's what held. So that actually gave you a nice entry back to the downside, which held here halfway, and then it continued downside, and you had a reset all the way down to 54.10. And so overall, 5-minute chart did really well on the MMLs today. Very impressed to see that. All right, ES finally post mid-session. Very nice move on the ES this morning. Enjoyed seeing that trend. But overall, you could see that the ES pulling it out in the afternoon was nothing but chops. So there it is. There's your open and close. ES to the upside. A couple nice trending moves in the AM session, followed by the NQ. Again, same picture. Afternoon a little bit choppy. I would have just chosen to elect to sit out after that. But by the MMLs, not bad. You got to move swing up and swing down. And there's your YM as the NQ finishes out a balanced profile today here on the TPO as well as the ES. From top to bottom, nice single prints. The bulk, the majority of your 70% of trading value area high down to value area low. There's your VPOC for tomorrow. All right, let's jump into a quick couple charts here and see where we're headed tomorrow. Again, take a look at the VPOC versus the time POC. Price action very balanced. Last 3 sessions, consolidation. No new daily gaps to report of. All-time high still sitting upside with open gaps down below. Once the market decides to move back down, we'll start closing out some of those gaps. Nothing to speak on the AD lines as we showed you the NQ 70 reached the highs, 380 reached the highs, 1600 reached the highs, and really never looked back upside for the rest of the session. Nothing to really report here on the charts as gold. You know, nice Globex. That was last session, but Globex was pretty choppy. So gold with one nice move upside here as the yen just pretty much chopped out today, as well as the euro. And crude though got a nice little lift, but very choppy, not making it smooth to the upside. And wrapping up on the euro again, very choppy session with one pocket of opportunity here on the 534 and the 5144, all in sync to the upside as ES breaches the Globex high but unable to hold up. All right, take a look at the MML charts as we spoke of before. Again, my preference is to watch the 5-minute and the 15-minute. If you're going to put an MML chart on a range chart, please make sure that your time frame covers that good number of Globex session. Go for at least a session and a half to almost 24 hours of data. If you're going to stick to the 5-minute or 15-minute, have both up so that if one will change its levels during the trading session with trend, at least you still have the bigger picture to look at and keep that in mind. Again, the core strategy still maintained on the trend charts, guys. Trend charts, that's right. HA bars, the trend candle. If you're sitting in this, it's all about management at this point. It's not about Xing. Now, if you got an MML level sitting right here, and you know it's indecision candle, solid body tail up, give yourself the opportunity to exit the trade. But what if you have an MML sitting right here, price action pops up, but doesn't all of a sudden turn around and you missed this opportunity. So trade management on the candles, use the MML as a guidance that just perhaps you're headed all the way down when everything in sync. So keep that in mind, and that's what we do in the daily trading room. All right, taking a look at the ES as it heads into tomorrow. Watch back up to the upside around 59 to 61. Downside, you'll be watching at least 43.75. Watching the weekly VWAP, we have still not been able to get away from that, so a little concern on that. YM, same picture. We're at the lows here after hitting 586. A little bounce up here in the 15-minute. Watch 625 all the way up to 664. Any return downside, watch back down to 557. We'll be watching 469 as the bigger picture downside this week, and 781 if we can break away from that weekly VWAP. Finishing up on the NQ. NQ, again, pretty wild ride here today. Price action from down to up halfway and pull back. Probability might be we just return up here back to 34.50.37. Downside, watch 54.10 down to 54.02. Bigger picture for the week. Keep in mind that 53.90 downside and 54.68.75 upside. Watch that weekly VWAP. We have not been able to pull away yet. All right, heading into tomorrow, economic calendar and the rest of the week. Nothing really to speak of except jolts. That could be a big one. Fed speaker. Throughout the week, EIA, petroleum, a couple Red Star events on Thursday. Friday, with the markets closed, light week. So overall, we might see a little bit more action towards the beginning of the week, but yet to see how we progress throughout the week. All right, guys, that concludes an insight into the daily trend and technical momentum of the indices and key futures markets. Feel free to stop by my website, tradingfibs.com, or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra is one simple strategy: any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined, hopefully. You can find me every day on Twitter, Trading Fibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts. And as always, leave your buys at the door when trading. Hey, guys, really appreciate you sitting here. Listen to me run through these charts. It's a good recap for the day to go through both the MML levels or go through market internals, AD lines, talking about Globex high, Globex low, but it really comes down to it really always comes back down to me, to the core. And that really is the high probability setup of being able to find a trend below or above the cloud in any other strategy that I might look at that I have faith in or believe that it can support my move. Then I simply use a trade management setup option where you can either get in and out or simply take one contract off, get yourself a runner, use swing stops, whatever it is to keep you in the trend. That would be the goal. Hey guys, please feel free to check out my pre-market trend 15 minutes prior to the market open with those key levels, including taking a look at the Globex session, and check out my technical momentum outlook for the week as, again, watch that daily 1050 MA. If unable to hold there, we're going to start looking at MML levels downside on the bigger pictures and open gaps, but the NQ seems to be leading that charge. So the NQ is leading above that 10-period moving average. We'll go ahead and look at it midweek and see how we're doing on the daily charts. If you're interested in joining us, our community of like-minded traders seeking those highest probability setups, feel free to email me, david@tradingfibs.com. You may join us any Thursday or Friday to view the live charts as they happen in the trading day. All right, guys, that's a wrap for week 15, day 1. Have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Lots of holidays this week, so happy Passover as it starts tonight to all those out there. And then we have Easter coming up on the weekend. So lots of family time. Go spend time with your family, guys. Nobody's going to ask you at the end if you spent more time with your family or with your charts. So have a good day, have a good night, and good trading to you.